poor crowd management, because lakhs of people tried to leave the Marina Beach at the same time. In the morning, they came in batches. Some of them came as early as 7 a.m. Some of them came by 8 a.m. No private bikes or cars were allowed anywhere near the marina. So it was at least about 3 kilometers from the marina is where private vehicles were stopped, and they had to either come by walk for about 3 kilometers or they had to take the public transport. 15 lakh people in this huge Marina Beach was the number that we are talking about, and lack of public transportation, no private buses, and they say only VIPs and VVIPs did get special treatment. Only they had left the venue on time. Protection was given only to the VVIPs and not the common man. And many say that the state government could have denied permission, because 15 lakh is a huge number for any government to handle. Why were they not notified about the challenges, the struggles that they could face? Why did the state government not inform them to bring in their own water bottles, to bring in umbrellas, to fight the heat? Remember, 5 people died. Many were hospitalized because of the heat stroke, because of dehydration. All these, the state government now is facing flag. So yesterday, lakhs of people were stranded for hours. Many fainted, and so far 5 have died. A few of them continue to remain hospitalized. Opposition parties say it's because of poor management of the entire event. How do you see the entire event unfold and the politics that follows?
See, the event went on very well, and there is nothing happened during the event. When the people wanted to come back, you know how they come back from any crowd. Even in temples we have seen that. In a function, in a temple function, people rush back. They try to push one another and come out. At that time some such things had happened. That is not because of the government's arrangement. Even if the government had put police, you know how 15 lakh people gathered in a place, and when they want to go home by 1 o'clock, you know how the rush will be. See, this is an accident. It happened without the knowledge of anybody.
Opposition party says that the state government should take responsibility.
What responsibility can the state government take when the daily people are coming in thousands to the beach? Whenever they go home, can the state government have police there? See, these are all, the opposition parties want to say something. If there is no crowd, they say that DMK is conducting a function and nobody wanted to see that.
I want to go across to my colleague Purnima joining us with more. Purnima, you've been tracking this story since the minute go. You've been picking up several political reactions, trying to really get to the bottom of this unfortunate tragedy. 5 lives lost, but unfortunately no one really willing to take responsibility, isn't it? How is the DMK justifying this? Just by saying that we were expecting not more than 12 lakh and more than 15 lakh people turned up. Can they really get away with this, Purnima?
Well, the statements that have come in from the Chief Minister or from the Health Minister too hasn't gone down well with the public, especially the spectators who went through that ordeal. They were stranded there for hours. They were helpless. They were clueless. Some of them were, in fact, not aware of what was happening. There were children who were crying and screaming because there was no basic facility available for any of them. So the elderly people and children were the most impacted, and they suffered the most yesterday. Chief Minister M.K. Stalin in a statement said they had expected lakhs to gather, but the estimate they had was lesser than the actual crowd that gathered there. Therefore, even though the arrangements were made, there were more number of people than the estimates that they had, and that is one of the reasons why the untoward incident took place. Is the statement that came in from Chief Minister M.K. Stalin, who said that in the future, when there are events of such a big scale happening in Chennai, they will ensure that no untoward incident takes place. They will keep all these things in mind. But spectators said that there was no exit strategy. When everybody came in batches at different timings, when everyone wanted to leave, there was no police personnel present on the ground to help them. That was also one of the things that many of them we spoke to said, that no police personnel were found after the show ended. So they did not know which route to take, because if you look at the public transport, especially the stations, they were crowded. There were huge crowds waiting for the trains, and that was one of the challenges. that the traffic police had faced, because they were not able to control the crowd and they were not able to
Yes.
bring the situation under control. Many
Okay.
say ambulances were there, but ambulances were not.
So
in the
that's a lot
position
of
to leave.
convenient explaining that's coming from part of the administration, the government and the police combined, but no answers to the complaints that have been levelled by those who were witness to what really happened yesterday during the air show. Many thanks, Purnima, for putting that in perspective. For the moment, we need to cut across to the live press conference on part of the Ministry of External Affairs on the visit of President Moise to India.
President of Maldives. We have with us for this special briefing Foreign Secretary Shri Vikram Mishri. We are also joined on the dais by a High Commissioner to Maldives, Shri Manu Mahavar, and our Additional Secretary who looks after Indian Ocean region in the Ministry of External Affairs, Shri Puneet Agarwal. With that, I invite Foreign Secretary Sir to make his opening remarks. So over to you.
Thank you, Randir. Good evening to all of you. Thank you for being here for this briefing on the ongoing state visit of the President of the Republic of Maldives, His Excellency Dr. Mohammad Bhagwat to India. You would have followed some of the coverage of the visit already, the media statements made by the Prime Minister and the President. I understand that the vision document that has been released on the occasion of this visit by the two sides, a vision for comprehensive economic and maritime security partnership between India and Maldives has also been made available, and you might have had an opportunity to see that. Let me just take you through the elements of the visit and also the main takeaways as we see it from this particular visit. The President of Maldives, Dr. Mohammad Bhagwat, is here on a 5-day state visit which began yesterday. They arrived yesterday in the late afternoon. He is accompanied by the First Lady, by a very large number of cabinet ministers and a business delegation. In addition to the President's official engagements in Delhi, the delegation will also be visiting Mumbai tomorrow, and they'll also visit Agra before that, and the visit will conclude in Bangalore day after tomorrow. Yesterday, the External Affairs Minister, Dr. Jaishankar, called on President Moise. This morning, the President was accorded a ceremonial welcome in the forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan by the Honorable President, the Prime Minister, and other distinguished delegates. This was followed by the President's visit to Rajghat to pay homage to Mahatma Gandhi. Earlier today, the President and the Prime Minister held extensive discussions both in the restricted and in delegation level formats, and the Prime Minister also, in a special gesture, hosted a banquet lunch in honor of President Moise. Just a short while ago, the Honorable Vice President and the Minister of Health and Family Welfare, Shri J.P. Nadda, have called on President Moise, and later today the President will have a meeting with Honorable Rashtrapati Ji, who will also host a state banquet in honor of the President. Now, as you all know, this is the first bilateral visit of President Moise to India. He had visited India previously in June to attend the swearing-in ceremony of the Council of Ministers, and he and the Prime Minister are, this is their third meeting, because In addition to the meeting in June, they had met last year in Dubai in December 2023 on the margins of COP28. A few words about how we see the relationship and its place in India's overall policy framework. Maldives has always been a key part, an integral part of India's neighborhood first policy and our vision for Sagar, security and growth for all in the region. The relationship is historic. It's been underpinned by very close people-to-people relations, by trade and economic relations, and by a very, very substantive developmental partnership between the two countries. India has always also, very importantly, been the first responder to any crisis in Maldives. Whether it be the attempted coup in 1988, the tsunami in 2004, the Malay water crisis in 2014, or indeed the COVID-19 pandemic a few years ago. We have contributed to the development of Maldives through a mix of small and large development projects, an extensive suite of capacity building and training initiatives, and also from time to time provided significant financial assistance to enable Maldives to tide over economic challenges based on the requests and the priorities of Maldives. For instance, earlier this year, the Reserve Bank of India, the State Bank of India rolled over two treasury bills subscribed by them that had been issued by the government of Maldives worth $100 million. As two neighbors in a very important maritime neighborhood, the two countries are also working together to address challenges related to maritime terrorism, piracy, drug trafficking, IUU fishing, and a host of other issues. This current visit aims at building on this strong and extensive foundation of relations and charting out new frontiers for engagement. There are a number of challenges that the region and the world are facing today, and in this context it becomes important to redefine and renew partnerships with our neighbors to jointly overcome these new challenges. And it is in this context that I would attract your attention to the document that's been issued, a vision for a comprehensive economic and maritime security partnership, which has detailed sections on political exchanges, development cooperation, trade and economic cooperation, digital and financial cooperation, energy cooperation, health cooperation, defense and security cooperation, capacity building and training, and people-to-people linkages, besides cooperation at the regional and multilateral fora. This is a blueprint for relations that has been charted out for the next several years and provides a framework for the ongoing visit. The document also aims to bring together the objectives for India's own development as have been set out under the Viksit Bharat 2047 plan, and Maldives' own action plan and objectives to become a developed country by 2040. Let me also quickly mention some of the major announcements and initiatives that have been taken during the ongoing visit. You may have followed the announcements related to these. Besides the vision document, during the visit we have announced a currency swap agreement which was signed between the two sides. This will provide a swap facility in two elements, and these two elements are a $400 million facility and a separate INR 30 billion, Indian rupees 30 billion facility to Maldives. The RuPay card was launched on the occasion, and the two leaders happened to witness the first live RuPay transaction during the meeting earlier today. There was a virtual handing over of the new runway of the Hanimadu International Airport project, which has been developed with concessional line of credit funding from India. And under the housing development projects which are underway in Malé, 700 housing units out of a total of 4,000 which are currently being built in Maldives with EXIM funding were also handed over. We have also made an announcement whereby India will undertake the repairs and refit of the Maldives Coast Guard ship Huravi, which is a patrol vessel that had been gifted to Maldives by the government of India a few years ago. The refit will be carried out on gratis basis and add to the capabilities of the Maldives National Defence Force. In addition, we have signed and renewed a few memoranda of understanding. The Rashtriya Raksha University and the National College for Police and Law Enforcement have established cooperation in academic and professional education, training and research. The Maldives Anti-Corruption Commission
हमारे पंडाल में दाखिल हो चुका है। बेबस मर्दों, औरतों और बच्चों की खातिर न लड़ो। तकबीर! नारे तकबीर! इलाहाबाद मुर्दाबाद! मुर्दाबाद! मुर्दाबाद!
हमेशा ह्यूमन राइट्स के लिए बात आवाज बुलंद की है।
मोहतरम जनाब मोहम्मद हुसैन मेहदी साहब, अमीर जमात इस्लामी सूबा से, मोहतरम जनाब
से 6 गुना से ज्यादा है, जिसके नतीजे में तकरीबन 50
हमास के मुजाहिदों ने आज से 1 साल कबल
लुबनान को भी शामिल करने की कोशिश की है। आज
very much everyone for coming here. We already have 6 people that are holding the
Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael Avinu shebashamayim.
Breathe them up! Now! Breathe them up! Now! Breathe them up! Now! Breathe them up!
Tamam beyler dur.
Mücadelemiz yaşasın Filistin mücadelemiz.
İsrail katil! İsrail katil!
Dinlediniz göğe savrulan haykırmaya. Çünkü Kudüs işgal altında. Dileriz aslında. Hadi vur yine intifada.
Ben de varım demek için buradayız. Soykırımcı İsrail'in kanlı tarihine sınırı bulunmayan mutlak bir kötülüktür. Terörist İsrail'imize ve
Welcome back. Let's now talk about another CNN News 18 exclusive. Remember, hate preacher and Indian fugitive Zakir Naik has been in Pakistan making a host of controversial remarks. It's a CNN News 18 exclusive. We've accessed some of the public speeches made by Zakir Naik in Pakistan. Number one, he insulted a Pashtun girl on asking about or on being asked about the hardcore nature of a religious society. He said this is absolutely wrong and in fact the girl must apologize to God. That's one. He also insulted Hindu gurus and a Hindu boy when he posed questions to Zakir Naik about fundamentalism in Islam, and also went on to talk about how Pakistan is the best country for Muslims. He said Muslims should move to Muslim countries and Pakistan perhaps is the best choice. Some of the examples of controversial speeches made by Zakir Naik in Pakistan. Now remember, the MEA has also spoken on this in detail. Islamic preacher Zakir Naik, who's a wanted man in India, warmly welcomed in Pakistan, has made some very disappointing and condemnable but not surprising remarks, is what MEA said very recently. But I want to go across to my colleague Akanksha Swaroop joining us with more. Akanksha, we've managed to access some of the details of some controversial speeches made by Zakir Naik in Pakistan, who's been extended a warm welcome with the red carpet being rolled out for him in Pakistan, but goes on to explain why he's a wanted man in India and what India really holds against him.
First of all, very important to highlight, Christine, why this has been a very disturbing incident. The fact that Pakistan, right during the time when it's set to play host to the Shanghai Cooperative Organization Summit, is also rolling out the red carpet for a controversial Islamic preacher like Zakir Naik. You have already highlighted the derogatory and condemnable remarks that he's passed when he was questioned by that Pashtun girl. Moreover, he insulted Hindu gurus, Hindu boy, when he said that, no guru, including whether Sri Ravi Shankar or Jaggi Vasudeva and Baba Ramdev are capable of debating with him, and that Muslims should only move around in Muslim countries. Now, having said that, we all know that ever since the terror attack took place in 2016 in Dhaka, he's been one of the perpetrators, in fact, of that terror attack. Confessed that he was being influenced by Zakir Naik's sermons on his YouTube channel. And ever since, India has been seeking Zakir Naik's extradition to face charges for which India has also approached Malaysia. And already since 2016, Naik has also been residing in Malaysia. The NIA has charged him under the Unlawful Activities Act and various sections of the Indian Penal Code, which we all know are the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita now. That of course means a massive problem, but for a particularly problematic Islamic preacher like Zakir Naik, being hosted by Pakistan, not to forget the fact that he is also being warmly welcomed with open arms by the Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif himself, goes on to indicate this could just in fact run in storm waters as far as New Delhi and Islamabad are concerned.
That's what I was coming to, Akanksha. You know, Pakistan's move to roll out the red carpet for Zakir Naik, who's there for a month-long visit, doesn't it reek of mischief by the Shehbaz Sharif dispensation, perhaps with an objective of opening up a new front of confrontation with India?
Right. Between having said that, it is for the entire global community to see, because remember, he's on a visit which spans over a fortnight, and he's already in Pakistan. This visit is also going to be coinciding with the SEO summit, where we've seen what kind of a multilateral is the SEO summit, where you will also have other countries, leading countries like Russia and China, and India, of course, has made it clear that terror and talks will not be going hand in hand. Dr. S. Jaishankar has also gone on record to say that no bilateral is going to be taking place because that era of uninterrupted dialogue with Islamabad is over. Pakistan refuses to provide safe haven when it comes to terrorists. So having said that, India's stance is very clear, and the fact that India will be represented by Dr. S. Jaishankar at that SEO summit also goes on to indicate that we only place greater importance when it comes to multilateral events like the SEO, and that whether or not Pakistan plays host to it doesn't matter to us. But as Zakir Naik is concerned, and him being hosted by Pakistan is a testimony, one that is already being denigrated by Pakistanis themselves, because during these lectures, the kind of stance that he's taken has already sort of set the Pakistani social media ablaze.
And Zakir Naik has been banned from several countries, not just India, and in that sense, Pakistan seems to be sidelining global opinion on Zakir Naik and extending a red carpet for him. Many thanks, Akanksha, for joining us with the latest. We are into a very short break, with that news and updates continue on the other side. We'll be right back.
हमारे पिंडाल में दाखिल हो चुका है। बेबस मर्दों, औरतों और बच्चों की खातिर न लड़ो।
हमेशा ह्यूमन राइट्स के लिए बात आवाज बुलंद की है।
मोहतरम जनाब मोहम्मद हुसैन मेहदी साहब, अमीर जमात इस्लामी सूबा सिंध, मोहतरम जनाब
से 6 गुना से ज्यादा है, जिसके नतीजे में तकरीबन 50
हमास के मुजाहिदों ने आज से 1 साल कबल
लुबनान को भी शामिल करने की कोशिश की है। आज
very much everyone for coming here. We already have 6 people that are holding the
Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael Avinu Shebashamayim.
Tamam beyler dur.
Mücadelemiz
yaşasın Filistin mücadelemiz.
İsrail katil, İsrail katil.
İlerimiz göğe savrulan
Welcome back. Let's now shift our attention to the big comment coming in from RSS Chief Mohan Bhagwat, who has made an appeal to all Hindus across the country to unite and set aside their differences based on caste, region and language. He says this must be ensured for their own security, and this, remember, comes at a time that we as is see the BJP accusing the opposition, in particular Rahul Gandhi and the Congress, of attempting to divide Hindus along caste lines. Let's not forget this also needs to be seen from the prism of what was said not too long ago by Yogi Adityanath, warning that batenge to katenge. The Prime Minister in fact made remarks on similar lines recently in Thane. But in response, the Congress has questioned the current atmosphere of fear among Hindus, asking why such sentiments have emerged in the past decade alone. In fact, AIMIM Chief Asaduddin Owaisi is also hit out at the Prime Minister, along with the RSS Chief, saying both of them are dangerous for the people of all faiths.
भारत माता की पुत्र है और इसलिए भारत माता के लिए जिएंगे मरेंगे। लेकिन भारत में भारत के लिए जिम्मेवार समाज कौन सा है? वो हिंदू समाज है, क्योंकि भारत हिंदू देश है, हिंदू राष्ट्र है। परंपरा से प्राचीन समय से यहां पर हिंदू लोग रहते आए। हिंदू नाम बहुत बाद में आया, लेकिन उस समय से जो रहते आए थे उन्हीं को हिंदू नाम मिला। शाखा में व्यक्ति पर जो संस्कार होते हैं, गण शिक्षक कार्यक्रम लेता है, उसके कारण व्यक्ति बनता है, व्यक्ति निर्माण होता है, उसका व्यक्तित्व निखरता है, उसमें कर्तृत्व शक्ति आ जाती है। कोई चीज सामने आ गई, ये करना है, तो ये नहीं सोचता मैं नहीं कर सकता, मैं इसको कैसे कर सकता हूं, ये सोचता। उसमें नेतृत्व गुण आ जाते, वो सबको साथ लेके चलता है।
2000 स्क्वायर किलोमीटर पर चीन कब्जा करके बैठा हुआ है डेमसाक में। मोहन भगवत, आप भी चीन से डरते हैं क्या? चीन से खतरा है, मगर मोहन भगवत नो, हिंदुओं को खतरा है। अबे चीन कब्जा करके बैठा है, उसकी बात नहीं करेंगे। मोदी ने हिंदुओं को तकलीफ दी, मोदी ने मुसलमानों को तकलीफ दी, मोदी ने दलितों को, आदिवासियों को, ओबीसी को तकलीफ दी।
Let me go across to my colleague Yasha Kotak joining us with more details. Yasha, please help us understand the context with which this particular remark from Mohan Bhagwat needs to be viewed. We're talking about a season wherein elections are not too far away in Maharashtra. We've already heard it from Devendra Fadnavis with regards to allegations of quote-unquote vote jihad, and Yogi Adityanath and the Prime Ministers have also spoken on similar lines. Please elaborate it for our viewers.
So yes, in fact, this statement of Mohan Bhagwat comes in just a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi was in Mumbai. Now here, particularly when he was in Mumbai, he in fact targeted the opposition, stating that it was they who were playing the divisive policies of dividing the communities. In fact, the target was towards Mahavikas Aghadi, apart from that also towards the Congress. Just a day later, we also see a similar statement coming in from Mohan Bhagwat, wherein he's mentioned that Bharat is a country which is made of Hindus, and it is Hindus who are integral, and everyone who stays in the country are Hindus. So here we've seen that kind of a comment coming in just a day after Prime Minister Narendra Modi's comment, trying to substantiate what the Prime Minister said. Which is why we've seen that the opposition has hit out at Mohan Bhagwat, apart from that, they also hit out at the Prime Minister as well. Now here, to understand the whole context, ever since the whole Bharat versus India debate also began, was where we had seen several such remarks being made by the opposition leaders. Now here, considering that Mohan Bhagwat has in fact substantiated what the Prime Minister said, it is kind of trying to lay down the agenda. Like you rightly mentioned, it is the elections which are around the corner, which is where we see that they are trying to lay down the whole agenda for the upcoming elections, which are just a few weeks away. And here, of course, though ahead, just after the Lok Sabha, we've seen that RSS was critical of several aspects of the BJP, but which is where here we're seeing that ahead of the Vidhan Sabha elections, it is a kind of a trend that's already been set. Yes.
And it's very interesting how on one hand, though, we see Mohan Bhagwat talk about how the Hindus across the country must unite. He's spoken of the manner in which the sentiment can be misused. Asaduddin Owaisi and the likes of him have attempted to fearmonger by saying that the RSS chief and the Prime Minister, in fact, are dangerous for the entire country. Let's see how this plays out. Yasha, many thanks for joining us with the latest. Let's play out more reactions that have come in.
तो एकजुट रहने में क्या है? एकजुट रहने की बात करें तो अच्छा है ना, लेकिन क्योंकि हम हिंदुस्तान में रहते हैं, हिंदुस्तान में डॉक्टर बाबा साहब आम्बेडकर का संविधान के आधार पर हमारे देश का लोकतंत्र चलता है। उसमें उस लोकतंत्र के आधार पर हमारे देश में विविध जाति के लोग हैं, विविध धर्म के लोग हैं, विविध भाषा के लोग हैं, अलग अलग राज्यों में रहते हैं, और फिर भी हमारा देश एक साथ है। तो मोहन भागवत जी को 11 साल के नरेंद्र मोदी की सरकार में क्या हिंदू सुरक्षित नहीं है, ऐसा लग रहा है? जो बीजेपी को सपोर्ट करती है आरएसएस, और उनकी ही सरकार है, उन्हीं के शासन में अगर हिंदू खतरे में है और हिंदू संगठन मोर्चे निकालते हैं, तो उसका जवाब तो इनको ही देना है। तो इसलिए मोहन भागवत जी का इशारा नरेंद्र मोदी की तरफ है कि किसके तरफ है, उन्हें स्पष्ट करना चाहिए।
बांटते तो आप रहे हैं हमेशा, बट बांटने का काम तो आपका रहा है, और अब आपको काहे फिक्र हो रही है? इसलिए कि सब संगठित हो रहे हैं। सवाल सिर्फ इतना है, जो राष्ट्र को प्यार करता है वो कांग्रेस और इंडिया गठबंधन में, जो राष्ट्र को प्यार नहीं करता, भाजपा को प्यार करता है, वो उनके साथ रहेगा। राष्ट्र जीतेगा, राष्ट्र मजबूत होगा, राष्ट्र शक्तिशाली होगा, और इंडिया गठबंधन मजबूत होगा।
समाज में जाति व्यवस्था पहले से ही प्रचारित है, जिसको समय समय पर बहुत सारे मनीषियों ने दूर करने का प्रयास किया है, जिसमें डॉक्टर अंबेडकर, डॉक्टर लोहिया, काशीराम शामिल।
I'm surprised that RSS says that Hindu considers everyone its own. We all know Hindu considers everyone its own except for the RSS. RSS and Bharatiya Janata Party have tried to divide the Hindus on the basis of caste line. They have divided Hindus versus Muslims. They've tried to divide the entire country on the basis of their narrative. So for him to speak something and in action to do something else is totally different. We believe in a Hinduism which unites all. They believe in a Hinduism which politically benefits them. That is the difference between the RSS and what we are fighting against.
And now shifting our attention to a breaking news update coming in. This is Commonwealth bronze winning medalist Gymnast Dipa Karmakar, who's called curtains on her career. She's taken to social media to post a heartfelt message. Let me quickly read it out for you. She's taken to social media while expressing gratitude, reflecting on a roller coaster of her career. She's thanked everyone who's been a part of her journey, she says, onto the next chapter. So she's taken to social media to announce her retirement. She says, after much thought, I've decided that I'm retiring from gymnastics. This decision was not easy for me, but this is the right time. Gymnastics is a huge part of my life, and I'm grateful for every moment, the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Now, remember, Dipa Karmakar was unlucky to miss out on a podium finish at the Rio Olympics in 2016 as she finished 4th in the vault event. But she's represented India on multiple occasions, and now calling the curtains on her career, she's taken to social media to post this heartfelt message. With that, we quickly shift our attention to more we're tracking on part of Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who's once again sent out a strong message to not just the people of Jharkhand, but perhaps his political opponents as well. He's spoken of the intent of the Bharatiya Janata Party to bring in NRC, to implement NRC in Jharkhand if the BJP comes to power. Now, remember, Shivraj Singh Chauhan is in charge of elections for the Bharatiya Janata Party in Jharkhand, and after the Prime Minister also sent out these warnings around infiltration, illegal immigrants being allowed in Jharkhand. This is Shivraj Singh Chauhan raising the NRC issue in Jharkhand. He says Jharkhand will go to polls later this year. The dates, remember, haven't been announced, but he says once the BJP comes to power, we will implement NRC in the state. Listen in.
इसलिए रोटी मतलब रोजगार, माटी मतलब हमारी धरती पर घुसपैठियों का कब्जा ना हो, और बेटी, ये तीनों बचाना, ये हमारा संकल्प है। और इसके लिए हम झारखंड में एनआरसी लागू करेंगे। नागरिकता का रजिस्टर बनेगा जिसमें स्थानीय निवासी रजिस्टर होंगे, और जो घुसपैठिए हैं उनको चुन चुन के बाहर निकाला जाएगा। ये हमारा संकल्प है।
Let me go across to my colleague Payal Mehta joining us with more. Payal, we've seen the Bharatiya Janata Party, its top leaders, time and again blame undocumented immigrants from Bangladesh and Jharkhand for the change in the demographics of the state. And that's what is being raised by Union Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan and sending out this message and making this promise to the people of Jharkhand. But how do we see this overall, especially given the reactions so far that have come in from the likes of Home Minister Amit Shah?
Well, of course, Mr. Amit Shah himself has come out and said that there is no plans of bringing in NRC as of now. But this claim coming in from Shivraj Singh Chauhan is huge, Crispin, given the circumstances that several leaders within the BJP, whether it's Shivraj Singh Chauhan himself, whether it's Prime Minister Narendra Modi also, who recently spoke about the fact that how illegal migrants are overtaking the rights that are given to the tribal women in the state as well. Demography seems to be changing. And roti, beti, mati, something also which the Prime Minister really raised as well. So that's something, of course, the BJP is hoping will be able to strike a chord with the people of, Jharkhand in particular, given the fact that tribal population is huge. The fact that, a lot of people are forced to migrate out of Jharkhand because of the unavailability of jobs, their lands are being grabbed as well. So that's something, of course, these leaders have raised as well. It'll be important to see what the outcome really is. This evening also, at 6 o'clock in the evening, you have a meeting on Jharkhand that takes place at the party headquarters. We'll have to just wait and see how the party really supports further what claims have been made by Shivraj Singh Chauhan in terms of bringing in an NRC in place. But the intention of the Bharatiya Janata Party is very, very clear. They say that it's not just corruption, it's just the changing demography of Jharkhand that they're worried about as far as the Hemant Soren's government is concerned.
Okay, Payal, many thanks for joining us with all those details. That's a development we're certainly watching out for very closely, given that elections in Jharkhand also are not too far away. Quickly now shifting our attention to some international news, the tensions in Middle East as they continue to escalate. Today, remember, marks 1 year of the deadly terror attack carried out by the Hamas in Israel. Remember, more than 1,200 people were killed, several taken as hostages. In fact, more than 100 of them haven't been returned as yet. And we see that fight go on still. We've seen Israel up the ante, not just against the Hamas in Gaza, but also against Hezbollah in Lebanon. And now we do see Iran launch an offensive against Israel. So tensions most certainly continue to escalate. Tensions also being seen on part of the Israeli forces that have decided to invade Lebanon, amid the increased attacks from Iran. Iran's supreme leader has also been sending out warnings one after the other for Israel. Meanwhile, in fresh strikes against Hamas, Israel struck the Hamas command and control center, the Shuhada al-Aqsa hospital. It was used by Hamas terrorists to plan and execute terrorist attacks against Israel. So a lot of developments really unfolding in the Middle East. But here's how this 1 year, last year, has really played out for the stakeholders concerned. Take a look at this report.
On the eve of the first anniversary of Hamas's October 7 attack on Israel, the country continued its barrage on Gaza. Dozens were killed and wounded when Israeli airstrikes hit a mosque and a school sheltering displaced people in the enclave early on Sunday. That's according to the Hamas-run Gaza government media office. The Israeli military called the attack precise strikes on Hamas terrorists who were operating embedded in the school and mosque in the Deir al-Balah area in central Gaza, a claim Hamas rejects. Palestinian health officials said at least another 20 people had been killed since Saturday night in northern Gaza after the Israeli army sent tanks into the area for the first time in months and urged residents to leave. Hamas attacked southern Israel on October 7, 2023, killing 1,200 people and taking about 250 hostages, according to Israeli tallies. Israel's subsequent military assault on Gaza has killed nearly 42,000 Palestinians, according to Gaza's health ministry. It has also displaced nearly all of the enclave's 2.3 million people, caused a hunger crisis, and led to genocide allegations at the World Court that Israel denies. Israel also battered Beirut's southern suburbs overnight through Sunday morning. It's the most intense bombardment of the Lebanese capital since Israel sharply escalated its campaign against Iran-backed group Hezbollah last month. Israel said its air force had conducted a series of targeted strikes on weapons storage facilities and Hezbollah terrorist infrastructure sites. Lebanese authorities did not immediately say what the missiles had hit or what damage they caused. In almost a year of fighting between Hezbollah and Israel, more than 2,000 people have been killed in Lebanon, most of them in the past 2 weeks, according to its health ministry.
I want to first start off by asking you your thoughts on a day like today, October 7th. It is 1 year since the Hamas terror strikes. Like I said, over 1,000 Israelis were killed. And in response, in Israel's military operations, over 40,000 Palestinians have been killed. What are your thoughts on a day like today?
First of all, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to clarify what happened and what's going on in the current situation in the region. 1 year back, Hamas, as a resistance group, conducted an operation against Israel. You know, unfortunately, during this year, we witnessed that there is a try, an organized try to tag this as a terrorist act. You know, in fact, the roots of this operation, this act, this event goes back to the history of Palestine, history of Israel, history of the hostility between Israel and Palestinian. So first of all, I should mention and emphasize that we believe that Palestinian and Hamas, as a Palestinian group, as a resistance group, had no option just to defend their homeland, their people. So we should distinguish, we should recognize is as an resistance operation, not a terrorist act. This is what we differs in our definition. It differs from many other countries and many people. You know, unfortunately, even if we assume that it was a terrorist act, which was not, the reaction of Israel during last year was not proportionate to the casualties of Israeli. You know, more than 41,000 people have been killed. There were children, fathers, mothers, sisters, grandchildren. You know, and nowadays we are witnessing that the Palestinians are suffering from starvation.
Okay.
Even UNRWA, as a UN agency, cannot carry out its duty and responsibility to carry foods to Palestinians. So even if we assume 7th of October as a terrorist act, the reaction and retaliation of Israel to this was not proportionate to the casualty.
हमारे पंडाल में दाखिल हो चुका है। बेबस मर्दों, औरतों और बच्चों की खातिर न लड़ो।
हमेशा ह्यूमन राइट्स के लिए बात आवाज बुलंद की है।
मोहतरम जनाब मोहम्मद हुसैन मेहदी साहब, अमीर जमात इस्लामी सूबा से, मोहतरम जनाब
से 6 गुना से ज्यादा है, जिसके नतीजे में तकरीबन 50
हमास के मुजाहिदों ने आज से 1 साल कबल
लुबनान को भी शामिल करने की कोशिश की है। आज
very much everyone for coming here. We already have 6 people that are holding the
Shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, Avinu shebashamayim.
Tamam beyler. Dur.
Mücadelemiz
Yaşasın Filistin mücadelemiz.
İsrail katil. İsrail katil.
İlerimiz göğe savrulan
haykırmaya. Çünkü Kudüs işgal altında. Biliriz aslında.
That's a clear big runaway number that People's Pulse is giving again to the national conference.
The people of Kashmir and the people of Jammu will be absolutely thrilled. We've not had one single major instance of disruption, violent disruption of the poll.
The Haryana poll of polls, ladies and gentlemen, the mega poll of polls gives the Congress a runaway victory.
जब भी यही कह रहा हूँ ना, मैं टायर्ड हूँ ना रिटायर्ड हूँ।
I'm very grateful to Mr. Mahbub Mufti.